As rain continued to pour down relentlessly, I found myself driving along the desolate stretch of highway, desperately seeking a glimmer of hope in the pitch-black stormy night. My hands clung to the steering wheel with a white-knuckled grip, my knuckles straining under the pressure. The wind howled outside, harmonizing with the drumming raindrops, creating an eerie symphony that sent icy shivers crawling up my spine. I was alone, exhausted, and in dire need of respite from the torrential downpour that seemed to mirror the darkness encroaching upon my very soul. Suddenly, the glow of my headlights pierced through the impenetrable gloom, illuminating a solitary figure huddled by the side of the road. A hitchhiker, drenched to the bone, stood with an outstretched thumb, a silhouette of desperation against the stormy backdrop. Despite the cautious voice in the back of my mind, I felt a flicker of compassion ignite within me, urging me to offer him a ride. After all, what harm could it do? I maneuvered my car to the side of the road, its tires crunching on the wet gravel. The stranger, his face obscured beneath a wide-brimmed hat, approached and climbed into the passenger seat. The sound of rain pelting against the car's roof blended with the heavy silence that settled between us. Unseen eyes seemed to assess me, and a growing unease coiled deep within the pit of my stomach. The hitchhiker's presence exuded an indescribable darkness, a lurking threat that sent tremors through my weary bones. The road stretched out before us like an endless void, vanishing into the inky blackness. Each passing mile felt like an eternity, as if time itself had succumbed to the night's malevolence. I stole occasional glances at the hitchhiker, unable to shake the unsettling feeling that I had unwittingly invited a predator into my sanctuary on wheels. The car's interior seemed to shrink, suffocating me with each passing moment. In an attempt to alleviate the mounting discomfort, the hitchhiker initiated a conversation. His voice, low and gravelly, slithered through the confined space of the car, seeping into the cracks of my weary mind. He asked probing questions, delving deeper into my life, my destination, my loved ones. Each inquiry felt like an unwelcome intrusion, a violation of my privacy. Goosebumps prickled my skin, and I struggled to maintain composure, forcing a smile as I offered vague responses. But the darkness within me grew, entwining with the shadows that clung to the hitchhiker's enigmatic presence. Time twisted and distorted within the confines of the car, blurring the boundaries between reality and nightmare. Minutes stretched into agonizing hours as the storm raged on, the rain persistently hammering against the car's windows as if accusing me of my ill-advised decision. The hitchhiker's silence became oppressive, punctuated only by the rhythmic drumming of raindrops. The weight of impending danger pressed down upon me, its presence palpable and inescapable. Desperation seized me, and a flicker of self-preservation ignited within my fractured mind. I concocted a feeble plan, a feeble attempt to gauge the hitchhiker's true intentions. Pretending to miss my exit, I abruptly veered onto a desolate side road, its darkness swallowing us whole. Panic surged through my veins as the hitchhiker's eyes narrowed, his grip on the seat tightening with a bone-chilling intensity. It was as if he could see through my charade, as if he were the puppeteer orchestrating this macabre game. "What are you doing?" he hissed, his voice dripping with malice, scraping against the frayed edges of my sanity. My heart pounded against my ribcage as I pulled over, my mind racing for a plan, any glimmer of hope. It was in that pivotal moment in the midst of the storm's wrath that I realized the horrifying truth. I had unknowingly opened my car's doors to a predator. I had become the prey, a pawn, in a nightmarish tableau. I opened my mouth to speak, to plead for my life. But the words were strangled in my throat as the hitchhiker lunged towards me. His hand, cold and clammy, closed around my throat, squeezing with a force that defied human strength. I gasped for air, my fingers clawing desperately at his vice-like grip, my nails digging into his flesh, desperately fighting for survival. The struggle was brutal, a dance with death in the depths of the night. Darkness encroached on the edges of my vision as I fought to stay conscious, to resist the inexorable pull towards the abyss. And then, with one final surge of adrenaline-fueled strength, I managed to break free. I stumbled out of the car, collapsing onto the rain-soaked pavement, gasping for precious breath. The hitchhiker loomed over me, his eyes devoid of humanity, a void of emptiness. He raised a gleaming blade, reflecting the sickly glow of the moon, ready to deliver the final fatal blow. But in that critical moment, a piercing siren rent the air. The flashing lights of a passing police car bathed the scene in an otherworldly glow, halting the hitchhiker in his tracks. The predator vanished into the shadows, fleeing into the night, leaving me battered and broken, but alive. The police officers rushed to my aid, their voices mingling with the relentless rain as they called for backup and medical assistance. As I sat in the safety of the police car wrapped in a blanket of reassurance, I couldn't help but wonder how many others had fallen victim to the sinister hitchhiker, and how close I had come to becoming just another nameless victim in his blood-soaked path. From that night on, I vowed never to trust the darkness again, to always heed the warnings that echoed in my mind. The world is filled with shadows, and sometimes those shadows conceal the most terrifying of horrors. Are you prepared to embark on a haunting journey delving into the depths of nightmare memoirs? Will you dare to uncover the chilling secrets that lurk in the shadows? Join us and become a fearless seeker of all things spooky. Subscribe and like if you dare to traverse the shadowy depths with us.